So very happy to explain to you what we're doing here together with Adobe. So maybe just to talk a little bit about the relationship first, and then I'll come to the solution we're building. So Adobe over the years has been a phenomenal partner of ours, but a partner that has lived with the different agencies in our group. Okay, so in terms of working with their analytics solutions, segmentation solutions, web content management or experience management solutions, and Adobe has over time really come up with this comprehensive stack, I should say, called the Marketing Cloud, which literally addresses many, not all of them, but most of the needs of a marketeer today in this, age of empowerment or empowered consumers. So, and we were literally on a parallel track as Publicis Group, thinking about how is it that we can solve this one big problem for our clients, which is about creating a communication on a segment of one basis. So taken to the extreme, literally on a one-to-one basis, but take that at scale. Okay, and that is a huge question. It's a huge problem where today, if you put yourselves into the shoes of a client would have to stitch together many different things like technology, the data, the service companies, and so forth and so forth. This is very, very difficult. So what we've done, and there's a huge process behind the solution, over the last 2 years, there was a project called Project Olympic, where we went through all the processes across all the agencies to really figure out what is the actual interoperability we can create between all these different instances. And basically driven by the thought of aligning processes, creating interoperability between the different instances, and all this driven by intelligence, so with data residing underneath, was sort of the conceptual driver for what we're coming up with now. So the implementation and the rollout of the always-on platform, the way you have to see it is that, of course, we are 100% client focused. So what it does mean is that we have all the elements, we know how to put them together, and ultimately, based on the client demand, which, by the way, is also very progressive, because clients will say, well, I have to start somewhere, this is where I want to start, and then there's a roadmap, of course, because there's also a lot of transformational work that needs to be done on the client side as well, so that basically this platform then, along the client demand, basically evolves. What is the case, though, is that ultimately all the modules over time become pre-configured. Many of them are already pre-configured, so let's say the segmentation piece, the marketing automation piece is already pre-configured, and over time all the big modules will be, and we as Publicis Group, we define the process, the workflow, maybe there's some middleware we have to sort of put some coding in there to make it work even better, but that's the basic idea. So the question why we are in programmatic is a good one, and obviously, you ask 5 people, you will probably get 10 opinions. You're asking me, so you get 1 opinion only. Anyway, so my view is that currently there's an intellectual consolidation process going on, because our clients are getting very informed, maybe sometimes also confused, but still they're getting smarter and smarter, and now finally asking the right questions. And the right question from my point of view is really, what is actually happening in programmatic? So I give you $1, what do you do with my buck, right? And in a world where ultimately everything is transparent, this should be transparent too. So our position we've taken, at least as VivaKi, and how we see it within AOD, is really from the very beginning to take a transparent approach and basically showing our clients what we're doing with their money, including the media we're buying, which is an important part, as you know. There's been some stuff popping up in terms of who's actually seeing the ads and all, viewability, etc., etc. These are topics which we have put on our flag from the very beginning. Now, all that being said, I think there's a huge trend, and this is unstoppable, fortunately, and we'll see the value add being stacked up, and everything will sort of consolidate, which is great. It's going to take us another 6 to 9 months maybe, but then we're good. But then it really comes to what happens to programmatic as such, right? What is it? And here comes an interesting phenomenon, because ultimately, if you think about it, data are available sort of everywhere, right? And if you think about this one, then beyond, let's say, very clever analytics and segmentation work, what is it that you can offer to a client in terms of a competitive advantage, something his or her competitor could not do, okay? And this is where I think we will see a new, how can I say, a new dimension, a new boost in terms of how we get to programmatic solutions. My point of view is that programmatic will ultimately become much more bespoke on the client needs, on how can I say, industry needs, and we will see other technologies playing a huge role within programmatic and technologies that go beyond the ad tech as we know it today.